Hello, and welcome back to I Have No Idea What I Am Doing, a fortnightly show all about learning. In this particular series, we are learning about Vuex. Now this is episode 1, but since we're developers, we start counting at 0. You can catch episode 0 this side, I can never remember which side it is. One of these, there's going to be a pop-up. Click it. In this episode, we will be setting up our Cards Against Humanity project. We'll be looking into webpack, we'll be looking into pulling in Vue and Vuex and just getting the general build scripts done. We're not going to use any boilerplate for this. We're going to kind of look at some examples and write it from scratch because it's generally a better way to learn. I will also be making the repo available publicly. Just find it in the description and you can follow along. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me on Twitter at FrontendNE, write down a comment below, or open up an issue on the new GitLab repo. Without any further ado, let's get learning. Okay, so I've already set up a project in GitLab. It is completely empty. I'll share this with you later on, but it's at this URL. You can find that again in the description down here. We'll just clone this here. It'll warn us that we're cloning an empty repo. Yeah, there we go. But that's fine. I'm already in there. What's it called? Devs Against Humanity. Okay, so I'm going to use Yarn for this. I've not used Yarn properly before. I usually use npm, but it's supposedly better. Let's find out. I'm pretty sure you can just do Yarn init in the same way. I'm going to just add everything. And commits. This is just our initial commit. Right, so we have Yarn set up and we have nothing else at the moment. So let's open Devs Against Humanity, cd Devs Against Humanity there as well. I've just got the terminal running on two different screens here. I don't believe in using boilerplate for learning. I think boilerplate stuff is great, where you can use a system like this to, it takes a lot of the setup work out of it. But when you're learning something new, I think doing the setup work yourself is really helpful because you get to learn how things work and why things work and how they all play together. If you start with one of these things, you're going to you're funneling yourself into a certain way of working, and a lot of the things just become magic at that point, and you don't know how they work. So I'm going to reference this simple Vuex webpack example, but I'm not going to just straight up copy it. We'll start off by looking at their package.json. So they run webpack dev server, webpack-p to build, and they have Vue and Vuex, some Babel stuff, CSS loader, ES6 promise, fast loader style, Vue loaders, webpack and webpack dev server. Okay, so there's some. We could probably use most of these, but let's just start adding things. Yarn add our dependencies. So these are dependencies that we want to use on the actual app itself, and all we need at the moment is Vue and Vuex. So that should install them, and then if we do yarn add -d. This installs dev dependencies, so you see them in this package.json here. Now, I didn't really know this at first, but the difference between a dependency and a dev dependency is that Vue and Vuex are two things that we need to download and use in our actual app. They will be served to the user, to the client, whatever. And the dev dependencies, these are all things that are only required for developing. So things like webpack and Babel and all that sort of thing, where they're only needed to build the project. or fire up a dev server or whatever. They're not actually needed in the project themselves. So let's see what we can get from this list. Okay, so I've cherry picked out of this list what I want. I've skipped the CSS loader, the ES6 promise, the SAS loaders, just because I don't think we're going to be using them right now. So I want what I want at this stage is to just get a Vue app running and on the screen. That's all I want. So let's add all them. We should 8.44 seconds. That's pretty impressive. Yeah. All right. So the -d tag clearly didn't work, as they've all been installed as dependencies instead of dev dependencies. I must have got that slightly wrong. I'm just going to use the magic of editing to fix this. 3, 2, 1. That should have worked. Let's see. Yeah, so we've got Vue and Vuex in our dependencies, and the dev dependencies are all the helper stuff that we need. So, what do I need now? In there, I need. It's got dev and it's got build. I'm going to copy this block straight off because I am going to edit it, because I don't like using dev and build. I like using start. Build can stay. We need to set up a webpack dev server though. So if I create webpack.config.js and see what he's got in his webpack config. Again, let's just copy and paste. Right, he's requiring this. I'm going to comment it out for now because I didn't include it. This is wrong because we just want main.js there. We resolve to there. Right. That should be enough to get us running. Index is currently empty, so let's use the power of Emmet. A very simple hello world app. Spelled it wrong, it doesn't overly matter, but let's see if we can run start at this point. We've got an error. Okay. Breaking change. It's no longer allowed to admit the loader suffix when using loader. You need to specify Babel loader instead of Babel. Well, this is loaders. This is Babel. Let's try that. This is a complete guess, but compile successfully to where? Localhost 8080. Hello world. Right, happy days. We've got something running. I am going to commit this. Right, what did we do? I like to add emojis. We got webpack and running. Right. So what next? We want Vue running basically. So I am going to use this shopping cart example basically. So in index.html we need well, we're bundling everything, aren't we? So I'm just gonna let's get rid of package.js and all that. I'm gonna hide that as well. We want to include the script with source of what is our source? It's just bundle.js. So bundle.js, that should work, but nothing in there. What's it bundling? Main.js. So all read pets. Documents. Could do with the console. All reach pets, right? Good. So that is working. What do they have in main.js for here? Or app.js in this case. Okay, bubble polyfill. I'm not going to worry about that just yet. So we want to include Vue. In fact, I'm going to copy all of this. I don't want the store stuff just yet. What I will do later, I'm going to delete the currency because I don't need any of that. Now this is Vue. This is not Vuex yet. So looking for an element of app. So I should create that element. Let's get rid of my hello world and create an ID app. I'm looking at the wrong file. Right, we don't want store, so let's get rid of that for now. We do want the app component, which is components app.vue. Okay, so this is a .vue file. Let me just copy this through, and I'll talk through it in a sec. Info the what's these recommendations? Vue tooling for VS Code, followed by the Vue. Yes, so let's do it. Right, I'm hoping it'll give me some syntax highlighting, which should be lovely. ID of app, we don't want any of this nonsense. We want all reach pets. Don't want a product list, don't want a cart. Script, export default components. I also don't want any of that. Component. Is this installed yet? Hey, reload. Oh, where my file's gone? Hey, we have syntax highlighting. Happy days. Right, so in theory, Vue issues main.js. I will go through what I was saying before and talk about the component files. I want to get this running first. So it is looking for inside main components app.vue. So it's finding in theory. Is it? This .init is not a function. Alright, well I'm not calling that. So something else inside Vue is, so that means that in theory, let's just type Vue, see what we get. Vue, right, okay, so inside our webpack config, where we have to add loader to the Babel loader, we also have to have the Vue loader to the Vue one. I would imagine. Let's kill that and start it again. I was talking rubbish. Is Vue loader something missed? This. Add div Vue loader. When you include it too. Or what? Can't find module Vue template compiler. All right. Maybe it needs a kick up the. See, this is the fun we have with yarn and npm. Everything depends on everything here. So we get nonsense like this. So let's try now. Yarn start. Hey, we're back in business. Let's see if it loaded. All read pets. Yes. Right. Okay. So we've got, what have we got? We've got our package.json set up. We've got some scripts in there that run the webpack dev server. There's a build script that we haven't tested yet, but I'm not going to worry too much about that just yet. We have webpack set up to run all our .vue files through the Vue loader and all our JS files through the Babel loader, excluding node modules. And it takes main.js as an entry point, bundles everything to bundle.js. Fine. And then index.html is what gets run. We've got an app element that Vue targets to inject the app. Let's change this to devs against humanity. And yeah, and we load in the bundle.js here. That bundle.js is, if we remember from the webpack, bundled from main.js. And in here we import Vue. We import the app component from that directory. And then we set up a new Vue. We say target the app ID element on index.html, this one here. And we say render. We've not imported a store, we're not handling any data. We are literally just rendering this app as it is inside components app.vue. And then this is a Vue file. So they allow you to include your template, so your HTML, your scripts, so all the JavaScript that handles with the actions and the dealing of the data and all that sort of thing. And they also let you, which we don't have here, include style tags. So we've got H1 there, so we can do H1 and color it red. Cannot resolve CSS loader. Right, yeah, so the CSS loader, that's the thing that I said we didn't need because we weren't looking at styles. I'll just very quickly install that. Okay, so that's installed. So we should, yeah, we've got a H1 that's nice and red. So you can have all your styles, all your markup, and all your scripts for a component all in one place, which is really nice. So obviously this component at the moment is garbage and does nothing. But if we just commit this. So many terminal windows, right? I have no idea what I'm doing. Doesn't get you right. If I do git dot git commit, maybe plus sign hooks up Vue. No, we don't do that. We create the initial Vue app. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to try and pull in Vuex and pull in some data from a store. The state inside a store. And then that's probably going to be us for today because there's quite a lot of setup involved and we've made good progress. Okay, so first what we want to do is why is index.js empty? Oh, I'm in store. Main.js is where we want. So let's see what they do in they import the store straight there, so we don't need Vuex in here, we just import the store and then the store, so we can comment that out and then pass in the store in here. Now that's probably going to give us an error simply because actually I've got that right in there. It's not. Let's open the console up, see what that's giving us. Alright, well it seems to be pulling it in even though the store is entirely empty. I'm going to hide this file structure for now because it gets in the way a little. And let's have a look at what they have in their store. Import Vue, Vuex, actions, getters, cart, products, and create logger. Alright. Actions and getters I don't want to use just yet. Cart and product obviously makes no sense to us right now. And create log. Right, okay. So previously we kind of skimmed over modules and I said I'd pull them in as and when we needed them. It seems that this example is using them from the start. So I would imagine inside cart and inside products, in modules, we have, so they have their own getters, actions, mutations, and state. If we dive in and just create a module, do we have inside store? We do have modules. So if I make inside store modules, we'll create a cards.js module. This may change later on, but it'll do for now. Instead of starting at the store, I'm going to start at the module level and then bubble back up to the store. So we'll get rid of that store for now. We will open up cards.js and let's have a look. They have a shop API, they have mutation types. We don't need either of them. We need to set up an initial state. State. They have getters. I'm not too bothered about getters or actions or mutations just yet. So const, let's just call it state equals. We've got cards, so let's have a state of, this can be card 1, and it can have text of I am the first card. It's still kind of dummy data, but it's not as dummy as doing foobar and all that nonsense. And then we just seem to export defaults an object with the state in. Now this has the state that getters the actions and the mutations, but since we're not using getters, actions and mutations, we might be able to just pass the state. I don't know if these are required or not, but I guess we will find out. So that seems to be the absolute simplest module that we could have. Let's ignore everything else for now and go back to our store. Right, so we want Vue, Vuex, we're ignoring actions and getters. Cart and products, we do want cards instead of cart and products. And I don't know what create logger is just yet, so we'll skip over that. So let's import Vue from lowercase Vue, and let's import Vuex from Vuex, and let's import cards from modules, cards, and we're going to ignore create logger for now. and then we need to tell Vue to use Vuex. This is pretty much how we did it in the previous episode. Debug. Yeah, okay. In fact, let me copy this and paste it in, save me jumping back and forth. When we looked at the documentation last time, there was a strict mode that was basically a debug mode for development. This seems to say if the environment isn't production, then this debug constant will be true. So strict mode will in turn be true, and then we will also use this create logger plugin. So to make this a little bit easier for now, I am just going to set debug to be false, and then strict will be false and plugins will be false, and we don't need to worry about that, but we can leave it in. We export a new Vuex store. We don't have actions, we don't have any getters yet. The module we do have is cards, which should be lowercase, and yeah, these can stay the same because they're falsy anyway, so we won't hit them. Right, now we're not getting any errors there, we're not getting any errors here, so in theory the store is there. Let's see if can we see anything in, yes, there we go. So this is the Vue DevTools, and we can see we've got a base state with the cards module with card 1 inside it, and I am the first card. So we are actually pulling in our store. That was a lot less painless than I thought it was going to be. Less painless, more painless. There was less pain involved than I was expecting. So I'm going to commit that because we've done a fairly decent chunk of work there. Commit. Okay, so now what we want to do is see if we can pull in any of that store data into our component, and then that'll be us for the day. Right, so how, again, right back to this example, and let's see how they have pulled this in. So we're going to look at components, cart. Right, okay. So again, they've got the template, they've got the script, they don't have styles. They are using getters and methods. Now, right, okay. I'm gonna copy this and change it again, same as we have been doing. We get rid of these, and we want to open up the app component. Yeah. Okay, so let's get rid of this nonsense console log, and let's. Right, so we're importing map getters from Vuex and then using these down here. Now, because we're not using getters, we are using state. Sorry. Now I will forever get them confused. Ah, yeah, there we go. My helper's telling me it is map state. Computed total. We don't want total. Methods. We don't have any methods just yet, so let's get rid of that. Map getters now wants to be map state. Which way around is this? We only want one of these, and it's cards that we want. We've got products and cart products. Alright, okay, so the left hand side is what we use in the template, and it seems the right hand side is what we're getting from the module. So I'm thinking in our case it's the same. Are we going to get errors here? Yeah, of course we are. Of course we are. What is the issue? Unexpected token. Yeah, well, we don't need the spread operator for this Cards. Oh, where's my unexpected token now? 1013. Identifier expected. Banana. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't matter what I type in there. It's not liking that string for some reason. I'm going to check out the last video to see how we did this originally because, well, no, I don't need to actually, because it's all in here. State. Let's see, the map state helper computed goes to map. Ah, right, yeah, okay, got it. Got it. I'm being naive. Right, there we go. That's what I wanted. I was assigning things incorrectly there. Right, so that's working. That's working. That appears to be working. And now app has our cards object. So if I do in here, I'll just do div. Actually, let's do div's fine. I'm overthinking it. It's just to get the data in. I think we have double curly braces. I can do we want card1 dot text. I think. No, we don't. Oh, we do actually. No, we do exactly want that. Component template should contain exactly one root element. Ah, okay. Okay, React has this same issue as well. So I'll explain it. So the issue is inside the template we have two root elements. We have this h1 here, and we have the div. For some reason, I'm not entirely sure why. A lot of these frameworks don't like you having more than one root element. So what we do is we just wrap everything in the div, like so. And that should kill that error. It does. I am the first card. Good. So we have our text being pulled in from our getter and going straight into the app. Right, so I'm going to do a very quick recap of what we've done so far. It might not seem like a lot when you look at what we've got here. We've got a lovely looking Hello World app all over again. But this is our actual project now. We're getting started for real. We're not just in demo land anymore. What we do have is, if I close this, we have a cards module with an initial state of a card1 text. Now the idea is with this, we will eventually have, I've copied and pasted that incorrectly, but we'll have several cards with the different data on, and you can target them by IDs. So this isn't entirely dummy data. This is kind of pseudo data with a P, not with an S. Yeah, so we've got started, and we've kind of got into modules a little bit as well, which is something we didn't do last time. And then we export that state, and we pull it into our store. So we've got pulled in Vue, we've pulled in Vuex, we've pulled in our card module. We will look at this debug stuff a little bit later, and then we export our new Vuex store, and we tell we've got the module of the cards, and ignore these for now. I'll read up about them outside of the video and go over them, because I have a feeling they're not crucial to Vue, but they're probably worth looking at. So from there we have app.view, which pulls in map state, and then we map the cards state from our cards module into a state called cards, basically. So then we can access this data inside the template for our app. And we just say cards, card1.text. And then that pulls our data in to here. Now you can kind of see, if you look in the Vuex DevTools, that we have the state for the app here, and we've got the cards module, which has card1, which has the text, and then that is getting pulled into our app. If you go on components and click on app, you can see it's bound the cards, card1 and text to there. In this episode, we got a lot of the initial setup done. We got Webpack up and running, we got Vue installed, we got a very simple Vuex store in there. We've got our first Vue component pulling in data from that store, and we've also touched a little bit on what a Vue component is as a .vue file. There's obviously still a lot to go, but I didn't want to overwhelm anyone by putting too much into this first episode. Next time, we're going to be creating some actual cards. We're going to create some styles for the cards, we're going to create some data for the cards, we're going to create a cards component, and we're going to be tying everything in with Vue and a little bit of Vuex magic. If we have time, we'll maybe look at some getters or some actions or maybe some mutators. I don't know. We're winging this. We are completely winging this. We'll see how we go. As ever, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Talk to me on Twitter at FrontendNE, or add them as an issue to the new GitLab repo. A link to this repo will be below in the description. Thank you for watching this episode of I Have No Idea What I'm Doing. We are here on the 2nd and 4th Thursday of every month, making the next one the 28th of December. To be sure you don't miss it, click the subscribe button, which is kind of here-ish. Until next time, remember, I have no